Hi, my name is Ricky Pak, and I am the director for Danny King of the Basement. You know, directing in the time of the pandemic initially was kind of intimidating, but once we sat down and kind of thought about it and saw how actually setting the play in today's world actually ended up enhancing, I think, the story that was being told, we got really excited. And we just saw, I left it to the cast and to our crew. We had a lot of conversations and talked about, okay, so if this story was going on right now, how would the pandemic influence it? How would it change it? And we just had a lot of brainstorming together, and we found so many different moments in the play where it just made sense to bring in references about social distancing, and wearing masks and sanitizing, using hand sanitizer and stuff. So in many ways, I think that it actually ended up really enhancing the show. And we're really excited to share, our version of Danny King the Basement with you guys. Yeah, for sure. It's been very different, especially in the beginning of the rehearsal process. We had a couple of students who were still quarantining. And so they couldn't be in the physical space with us during rehearsal, so we had to Zoom them in. So a lot of that had to be, the beginning of the rehearsal process is usually so crucial to establishing the ensemble feel and trust amongst the group and all that kind of stuff. And I think that initially we were expecting that to be kind of challenging. Like how do you make relationships and how do you build that trust when the person's not even actually in the room? But we discovered that actually the way that we were able to have, we had a big monitor and we had a web camera set up so that the students who were quarantining could see everything that was going on here and we could see everything that was going on with them. It ended up not being as awkward as we thought it was going to be. Yeah, for sure. So directing, for a hybrid style was, in the beginning it was intimidating, but then when I sat down and kind of thought about it, this model already exists, and that's sitcom TV. Multi-camera TV is essentially, a stage, a huge long stage with 4 cameras that are set up, but it's very similar to the process that we've been taking in doing Danny King of the Basement. And so once that was like an aha moment for me, it kind of clicked, and I just realized, oh, okay, I shifted my mind frame to thinking that I'm no longer really directing a hybrid form of theater to be put out, online. I'm really directing for a multicam project. I'm really directing kind of for like a sitcom style, and so that really played into how I blocked the show, how we handled transitions and all that kind of stuff. Because usually in theater, you make these certain adjustments and you try and plan ahead so that the transitions are quick or whatnot. And I saw all my stage actors in that mind frame of like, okay, now what do I have to do next? What do I have to do next? And then sometimes I'd have to be like, okay, you know what? It's okay, because what's going to happen here is that we're going to cut camera. And then we can just reset how we need to reset. And when everyone's ready, we'll just roll camera and we go again. And so once our actors realized that too, I think that helped alleviate some of that stress of thinking about, how do we adapt something in a hybrid style? And it already exists. We're just, adapting the model of multicam sitcom TV. I think that what I would say is it's a challenging time right now, and no one can lie and say everything's going to be fine or everything is fine right now. That we know that it's hard, and this is stuff that we haven't ever really faced before. And the one thing that we can really do is just really rely on our friends and our family, and that's going to get us through this time. And I think that, the story of Danny King the Basement really talks about how the power of imagination and the power of friendship and the power of family really helps to overcome everything. So even though the time is dark right now, one of my favorite sayings is that it's always darkest before the light. And I think that things are really dark right now, but that just means that when it gets lighter, it's going to be that much brighter.